We made it to Lake Takapuna. There's snow, that's for sure. What do you reckon, Ann?
Very snowy.
White! Makes me look like I've got a lovely complexion. There you go, now you're on that one. What do you think, huh? You need to do it harder than that.
I can't.
You just...
I can't get up. I'm not kidding. I can't get up.
Well, we're back onto the main road, finally completed half that loop through the top paddocks. Back on the main road. And yes, the beauty is that this road on both sides of Lake Takapuna is closed until further notice still. So, and that was an update at lunchtime at about 11:30, I think. And here we are, coming back into Lake Takapuna. You can see the sign up here.
Well, you can see past, which is fun.
Along the east coast of New Zealand, doing the southern scenic route. today on our way down towards Bluff. Found the heritage swing bridge, or suspension bridge. So it's all these cables. Pretty cool, actually. Made it into the Fiordland National Park. We are at Lake Munawai. Yes, we are in the fjords. Yeah, this is one beautiful part of the world. Lake Molawai. Monowai. I think it's something like that. It is stunning. Add this to your must-do list if you're coming down to the Fiordland. afternoon walk and doing parts of the Kepler track. Good morning, we are on our way to Milford Sound today. That just looks like I'm walking in a picture. We have made it to Milford Sound.
Hours.
We'll start it. Luckily we got waterproof shoes. day 9, Doubtful Sound Tour. What do you reckon, honey? Well, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, sun's still coming up. You can see in the background, hitting the Key Summit hike this morning. And we're back up near Milford Sound in the Fiordland National Park in the South Island of New Zealand. It is a spectacular day. It actually topped the other day. It is magnificent. So we're gonna get some good footage today. Stick with us.
We actually are quick.
Oh, this is what I want to do!
Oh, there you go!
Oh my god!
These are my lucky stars. Thank you so much.
Once again, the fun police are here. Alright, exploring Queenstown. Let's go! So today we're doing a bit of a tour around the hills around Queenstown, probably a 2 to 3 hour drive around. Our first stop is in Arrowtown. It's a beautiful old town with all heritage listed buildings and everything up the main streets. Lots of nice little cafes and bars. It's a cool place actually. The bridge bungee jump and zip line. Well, good morning. We're out at Glen Orchy. We're doing a heli tour today up onto, they call it a burn and glacier tour. So we land on the glacier and we also do a burn. So we actually look at the waterfalls and stuff like that as well. So.
Great snow,
Wow, really on top of the world up here. Take number 2. She's got her hiking sticks. Good to go. We were just talking about if you wanted to go for a hike or a mountain bike ride in New Zealand's South Island, you can pretty much do it around every single corner. It is unbelievable how many hikes and riding trails there are, and every single one of them is spectacular.
And all of the tracks are really well maintained.
They're awesome. So you can, and they're all rated too. So you'll be able to find out if you want a really challenging hike or challenging mountain bike ride downhill, you'll find it in nearly every single town. It's absolutely amazing. So plan ahead if you plan on hiring bikes and stuff like that, probably in your warmer months, because I would reckon they'll get pretty busy. But there also is places to hire bikes in every single town, so absolutely amazing. So there you go, back to the car park. Took us an hour and 55 minutes. So estimated time originally was 1.5 hours one way. So 3 hours up and back was estimated time. Nearly every hike we've done in New Zealand, we seem to have done it about at 2/3 of the time recommended. So take a third off, whatever their recommendation is.
Yeah.
Well, this is the, found out this is actually the bottom of the track car park. We're actually parked right down the bottom, which added an extra nearly kilometre to the hike. See how it goes, hon? Top of the world, honey?
Yep.
Oh, nearly.
That's the top of the world. That's not top.
All the mud freezes on top and then the water melts underneath it. Pretty cool. Then crunches. Semi-planning on doing the Fox Glacier walk, but there's the river's all in dirty flood, and there's also extreme weather warnings, rain and wind and landslide warnings as well. So we're just like, it's not worth risking hiking up into the hills. I think it's 10 k's return, so it's still a decent hike, so we just thought, no, we'll just leave that for this time and maybe get back in another time and do that hike. Fingers crossed. One day. So we're doing the Hokitika Gorge walk out to the gorge. You can already see the colour of the water. Already had heaps of rain, and the walk's beautiful, but I don't think right now the water's going to be blue like in some of the photos. So it's alright, still worth coming out here, staying at Hokitika tonight, and then see what else we can do from there. we had some pretty crazy weather here last night. The wind and the rain was just crazy, woke us up a lot of times during the night. I haven't checked weather and everything like that, but I have checked roads this morning. We're right on the direction that we're going, but the direction that we come yesterday had a landslide last night and has blocked the road in both directions, which means if we didn't get here yesterday, we would have had to have gone an entirely different route up through the hills the opposite direction from Queenstown and then over to the east coast to be able to go all the way back up, or go through the middle of the island again to be able to get up towards where we need to get the ferry back over towards the North Island. So very lucky we got here yesterday, and we'll pretty much have to wing it today, and hopefully nothing else happens after all the rain that was expected last night, all the rain that we had last night. Hopefully that doesn't change our route today, so fingers crossed. Good morning. We've made it over to Reefton, so we're nearly halfway to Hamner Springs, where we'll stay for the next couple of nights. We just booked a fancy hotel for that one. Well, first hike in Hamner Springs. I tell you what, it's already beautiful going up here. And you know you're heading north when we're Kat's in a singlet and I'm in a t-shirt and on a hike.
Although tomorrow's going to be 9.
Tomorrow's a top of 9, but that's still like 5 degrees warmer than it was most of the time when we're in Queenstown. But we are going to the Hamner Hot Springs tomorrow, so we're looking forward to that. So yeah, it is nice to be in a little bit warmer weather, to be honest, and not in pelting rain and wind like the last 2 days. Well, we still had a fair bit of rain overnight, so all the waters are all a bit dirty, but heading over to the North Island today. So It's just so clear again. That water in there is deep and it is flowing. Chillier. We've got to get back up there now. Oh, yeah, that's way warmer now. Well, we've made it up to Rotorua today. We're just coming to town to check it out just before we go back out to one of the cultural tours and a haka performance. So that should be pretty good. Do that for a couple of hours and then we'll do a couple of walks and potentially go for a couple of swims in some of the local geothermal pools on our way back over.
Geothermal rivers, actually.
Geothermal rivers, sorry. I hate to be wrong. This place is called Hot and Cold, like halfway between Taupo or Lake Taupo and Rotorua. What do you reckon, hun?
Good. It's getting a bit hot.
It's our last full day in New Zealand, heading from Taronga up to Auckland today. So just doing a couple of stops on the way up. Have a nice brekkie out this morning at a beautiful cafe that we stopped at yesterday, which was amazing. So we're back again, and then we're heading back over to Australia tomorrow. Fly out about lunchtime. Well, we're at the Auckland airport.
About to head home.
Back to the Aussie, as they would say over here.